Look like Diana Taurasi is currently in the headlines for breaking her silence about Kayla Clark and their relationship. This was shocking.
Diana Taurasi, the legend who famously warned Caitlin Clark that reality is coming, has done a complete 180. She's now claiming they're really good friends and praising the very player she seemed ready to watch get humbled. This stunning pivot from harsh critic to #1 supporter has left the sports world speechless, and it raises a massive question: was this a genuine change of heart, or a calculated move from a veteran star trying to protect her own legacy? The truth behind this sudden alliance is far more strategic than you think, revealing a behind-the-scenes battle of influence, money, and power that is shaking up the entire WNBA.
It's looking real spooky with Diana Taurasi. That is now, because she went on to say some things about Caitlin Clark that has everybody scratching their head. Because now her whole energy about Caitlin has changed. Her whole demeanor about Caitlin has changed. And quite frankly, it's looking real spooky. I just got to be honest, man. Let's head on over to X to see where all of this information is coming from. And just like I stated to y'all, Diana Taurasi was a person. She was a person that really wasn't feeling Caitlin.
Let's rewind the clock to the moment that started it all. As Caitlin Clark was preparing to make her leap from college phenom to WNBA rookie, the hype surrounding her was unlike anything the sport had ever seen. She was shattering records, captivating millions, and single-handedly making women's basketball the hottest ticket in town. But while most were celebrating her impending arrival, one of the sport's most respected figures offered a cold dose of reality. On a national broadcast, Diana Taurasi was asked what Clark could expect in the pros. Her response wasn't just advice, it was a veiled warning. She said, "Reality is coming. You look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time." The comment instantly went viral, and the narrative was set. Taurasi was the gatekeeper, the voice of an old guard that seemed almost eager to see the young phenom get humbled. It felt less like mentorship and more like a promise of a rough welcome, setting the stage for a conflict between the league's past and its explosive future.
Me and Caitlin are really good friends. We get along really well. We've had some great interactions.
But a funny thing happened on the way to that reality check. The reality that came wasn't the one Taurasi predicted. Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA, she took it over. It wasn't a ripple. It was a tidal wave that lifted the entire league to unprecedented heights. The humbling never arrived. Instead, it was the league that was humbled by Clark's incredible and immediate power. Arenas that once had sections of empty seats were now sold-out battlegrounds, with fans paying premium prices just to get a glimpse of her. Television ratings didn't just climb, they exploded, breaking records on a weekly basis and bringing in millions of new viewers. The Caitlin Clark effect became a real, measurable phenomenon. For the first time in its history, the league approved full-time charter flights for all teams, a monumental shift that was largely credited to the intense, rock star-level spotlight Clark brought with her. She wasn't just another talented rookie adjusting to the pros. She was a cultural and commercial force who was fundamentally changing the economics of the sport in real time. Taurasi's prediction wasn't just wrong, it was a colossal underestimation of the storm that was coming.
Right? When the college guys come out, they're waiting for them. I mean, Camilla's coming, Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
Okay.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Of course.
And then, just as the season was in full swing, and Clark's impact was undeniable, something shifted. The critic-in-chief suddenly became the lead cheerleader. In a recent interview that sent shockwaves through the sports world, Diana Taurasi executed a complete and total reversal of her previous stance. Without a hint of her former skepticism, she said, "Me and Caitlin are really good friends. We get along really well. We've had some great interactions. I just absolutely love what she does on the court, off the court." She went on to praise Clark's seriousness and her impact on the game, stating that Clark has taken this game to new heights. The whiplash was intense. The very same person who spoke of grown women waiting to put a rookie in her place was now claiming a close personal friendship and admiring the very qualities that made Clark a dominant star. This was a 180-degree pivot so sharp and so sudden that it felt less like a natural evolution of thought and more like a complete system reboot, leaving everyone wondering what could have possibly caused such a dramatic change of tune.
And you see it on the NBA side, and you're going to see it on this side, where, you look superhuman playing against 18-year-olds, but you're going to come with some grown women that have been playing professional basketball for a long time. Not saying that it's not going to translate, because when you're great at what you do, you're just going to get better. But there is going to be a transition period where you're going to have to give yourself some grace as a rookie. And, it might take a little bit longer for some people.
Right on.
So, what could possibly motivate such a drastic and public change of heart? The answer might lie not on the court, but in the bank. As Taurasi watched the Caitlin Clark effect unfold, she wasn't just watching a great basketball player, she was watching a commercial juggernaut being born. The league was attracting massive new sponsors, media deals were getting bigger, and player visibility was at an all-time high, all driven by one person. For a recently retired legend like Taurasi, who is now building a career in media and carefully curating her brand, being positioned as Clark's chief antagonist was quickly becoming a bad business decision. Aligning with Clark meant staying relevant, being seen as a supportive elder stateswoman, and remaining part of the league's incredible growth story. Fighting against that wave meant risking looking bitter, out of touch, and being left behind. In the world of professional sports, public perception is currency, and Taurasi may have simply made a calculated decision that her stock would be far more valuable as a Clark ally than as her enemy.
Oh,
Congrats on your retirement, D.
Thank you.
And congrats
Now-
on you.
Unfortunately,
Well,
reality's
thanks.
coming to me now.
But the most baffling part of Taurasi's new statement wasn't just the praise, it was the claim of a close personal bond. "Me and Caitlin are really good friends," she said. This one, seemingly innocent phrase raises more questions than it answers, and has become the focus of intense speculation. When exactly did this supposed friendship blossom? Was it forged in the weeks where other veteran players were being heavily criticized for their overly physical and borderline hostile treatment of Clark on the court? Was this friendship established before or after Clark had proven, beyond any doubt, that she could not only survive the professional league, but dominate its headlines and its balance sheets? The timeline is incredibly suspicious. A friendship born out of mutual respect over years is one thing. A friendship that seems to materialize only after one person becomes the most marketable asset in the sport feels convenient. It forces you to question whether this is a genuine connection or a strategically deployed phrase, designed to smooth over past criticisms and reposition herself favorably in the new WNBA narrative. This is where the story takes an even more bizarre and telling turn. The very qualities Taurasi is now praising, Clark's seriousness, her dedication, her professional approach to the game, are the exact traits that were glaringly obvious to anyone paying even the slightest bit of attention from the very beginning. These weren't hidden aspects of her character that could only be discovered through deep personal interactions. Clark's legendary work ethic and intense focus were the cornerstones of her identity at Iowa. She was famous for it. For Taurasi to act as if she's just now discovering these qualities is deeply ironic. It strongly suggests that her initial reality is coming comment wasn't based on a thorough or fair observation of Clark as a player or a person. Instead, it seems to have been based on a flawed assumption, a general bias against the unprecedented hype. Her new praise, in a strange way, only serves to expose how misguided and uninformed her initial take truly was, undermining her own credibility as a student of the game. Taurasi's reversal wasn't just a personal pivot, it was a strategic retreat from a much larger, uglier narrative that was engulfing the league. Her reality is coming comment became the unofficial slogan for the on-court aggression Clark faced. For any legendary athlete, managing their legacy is the final game they play. As the WNBA's undisputed GOAT, Taurasi's reality comment felt like a refusal to pass the torch to the heir apparent. It was a declaration that the old guard still reigned, but Clark's immediate and overwhelming success forced her hand. The question now is she truly passing the torch, or just trying to keep her hand on it? By claiming a close friendship, Taurasi isn't just giving Clark the spotlight, she's stepping into it with her. It's a brilliant way to attach her own legacy to the league's bright new future. Instead of fading into retirement, she ensures her name remains relevant and intertwined with the most exciting thing happening in the sport. It's less of a graceful exit and more of a clever maneuver to co-opt the new energy, guaranteeing that as Clark's star rises, her own does not fade. In modern sports, the battle for public opinion is often more brutal than any contest on the court, and initially, Diana Taurasi was losing it badly. The media and fans had cast her as the villain in the Caitlin Clark saga, the bitter veteran, the hater, the symbol of everything holding the league back. She had lost control of her own story. Her complete 180 is a masterclass in seizing back that narrative. Realizing she could not win the PR war by fighting it, she chose to lead it in the other direction. Her over-the-top praise isn't just a change of mind, it's a media counteroffensive. By becoming Clark's most vocal and high-profile supporter, she is attempting to erase the old story and replace it with a new one. Wise legend recognizes and mentors new greatness. It's a classic, if transparent strategy. If you can't beat them, join them so enthusiastically that people forget you were ever on the other side. Ultimately, this entire saga is much bigger than just two players. It's a perfect case study of the generational tension that has been simmering within the WNBA for years. The old guard, represented by legends like Taurasi, who fought for every scrap of attention and respect, was suddenly confronted by a new generation, led by Clark, who brought an unprecedented level of fame and fortune with her. Taurasi's initial comments represented the resistance to that change, a desire to make the new star earn it according to the old, unwritten rules. Her stunning reversal might just signal a surrender. Perhaps she and others like her have finally realized that fighting this new wave is futile. It's better to embrace the player who is making everyone more money and bringing more eyes to the sport they all love. Whether that embrace is genuine or forced is the unsettling question that remains. Was this a story of personal growth, a legend learning to respect a new talent who defied all expectations? Or was it a masterful, calculated gambit from a savvy veteran protecting her legacy and her brand in a rapidly changing world? The truth is likely somewhere in the middle, but one thing is clear: Diana Taurasi looked at the reality Caitlin Clark created and decided it was far better to be her friend than her cautionary tale. The queen may not have been overthrown, but she certainly learned how to bend the knee,